Welcome to the Clothes-Free Living Update, brought to you by the folks at clothesfreelife.com. We're excited to be able to bring you this regular feature of the clothes-free news from around the web, information related to clothes-free living, and much more. Now here's your host, Earl D.
And a happy Friday, a happy Clothes-Free Friday to you listeners. Welcome to another edition of the Clothes-Free Living Update. I have to tell you that I am so psyched today for our show. I can't tell you how excited I am because we have on our show today a pioneer. That's the best word to describe him. We have a pioneer on the show today in the person of Ton Dou, naturist musician, vocalist, singer, songwriter, and bare body freedom activist. And if you don't know who Ton Dou is, you need to hop on to this webcast now and listen in and find out about this person, this man who's done just like incredible things in the promoting of naturism and clothes-free living through his music. He's a true pioneer and an incredible person that you're going to want to listen to and hear about. And we're going to play some of his music today as well. But we're going to dedicate the majority of our show today to Ton Dou and his work. But I do want to take some time to bring you up to date on what's going on around the clothes-free world. So take a moment, if you can, to pause, maybe over your lunch break, and here's some clothes-free news for you. So there's been a lot of talk in the news world recently about some efforts going on in London to launch a restaurant that is clothing optional. And apparently these folks are serious. It's a pop-up restaurant, means they kind of come in, do their thing, and after a period of time, as I understand it, they go away. But they've got over 30,000 people on a waiting list. So if you're in London and wanting to have a clothing optional dining experience, then you might want to check out this place. Just if you Google clothes-free dining or nature's dining or nude dining, it's going to pop up. I guarantee you it's going to show up on Google or Yahoo or Bing or whatever you use as your search engine. A couple of other positive things out there is that the Self magazine had a great article with interviews by some of our favorite naturist clothes-free living folks, Serenity Hart and Felicity Jones, talking about the naturist lifestyle, and it was very positive expression of this clothes-free living and how it can be a great way to live and engage and just be. And talking about living clothes-free, science continues to give us wonderful reasons and benefits around clothes-free living. Recent study came out this week that exposing the skin to sunlight has benefits beyond vitamin D. And the lack of sunlight was described in this article. It can be as bad as smoking. That some of the health effects of not having enough sunlight, not getting enough sun on your skin, can be as bad as smoking. I think that's really incredible. On another positive note, there was a mass ramble in Scotland where people went on a close-free ramble, a group of folks, through the Scottish countryside, and I thought that it's just a really quaint idea. And it was positively received, positively promoted, positively responded to, even by the law enforcement officials in the region. And that's really very cool. Kudos to the people in Scotland and the folks who went on this little naked ramble. Not so good news is that Queensland's petition, the folks who in Queensland, Australia, who were petitioning to get a clothing optional beach there, have been turned down flat. It's been completely rejected. And there's no the folks there have expressed no interest in even considering it or pursuing this in the future. So that's kind of sad. But want to move on here because we want to make sure we have enough time for our guest today on our broadcast 17 of the Close Free Living update, brought to you by the Close Free Life Radio. Follow us at closefreelife.com. Read the web magazine. You can find all these news and the web information that we share. A couple of very, very cool things shared by people on the web, bloggers, that I want to share with you in our Bear Buzz segment today. First, got a great guest post request for sharing from some folks in Thailand who will be hosting this year the first ever naked run in Thailand in October, either on October 2nd or 5th. They're going to be working on putting that together. More details will be out soon. If you visit the website, closefreelife.com, you'll be able to look into all that information. Two other little bits of news that I wanted to share with you, a little of what's going on around the web. There's a post that we came across on Instagram about a young woman, a woman who is walking across the country, 1,000-mile walk from Biloxi, Mississippi to Washington, D.C. She's walking topless to promote greater education about breast cancer. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she's taking her survival seriously and wanting to address this issue by walking across greater awareness, more research around breast cancer is what she's hoping to bring by walking topless across the country, 1,000 miles. And we just want to say that we are just blown away and inspired by that courageous effort, and want to support her in her walk. So if she comes through your state or your city, get out there, give her a high five, give her a hand, and support her effort. We think that's really about being topless with a purpose. Another bit of another blog post and another person who we've encountered on the web that's an inspiration to us is a fitness pro who's just very different, not like any fitness pro that we've come across. A woman named Jessie Nealand, who a couple of months ago, late last year, posted an image of herself clothes-free doing yoga and talked about why she was doing that and what that had to do with her own sense of body acceptance, her own body image, and her different way of approaching fitness. Her website is Remodel Fitness NYC. That's, you can find her on Twitter and on Instagram. And today she came out with just, I think, a very heartwarming, this is how fitness folks should approach their work, I think. She put a blog post up called The Surprising Reason I'm Almost Always Naked. And she talks about her journey into clothes-free living. And it's a really awesome read. We have a link to it on the website, clothesfreelife.com. And I just want to encourage you to check it out because she's very transparent about her own body image and her journey to body acceptance. And she talks about how being clothes-free and becoming more comfortable in her body has allowed her to do that. And we think that's just a great message to share. So that's our Bear Buzz and our news for today. Coming up in just one moment, our interview live on a Clothes-Free Living update with Ton Dou.
Find body positive, clothes-free friendly postcards at www.twoscoops.cards.
We are back, and we are going to be talking with Ton Dou, who is just an extraordinary individual promoting body freedom, naturism, and clothes-free living. And if you're not familiar with Ton Dou and his work, we're going to allow you to get a little taste of it right now with my favorite song of his, Whole Day Nude.
I wanna go dancing and do a little singing. I wanna go streaking and do a little moving in between. I wanna do the hot tub with you after we do the stars from the roof. After we do the sunset for two. After we do the whole day nude. And when we get hungry, we could do a drive-thru. The tank's almost empty. We need to get gasoline too. I wanna do the...
If you have not heard it before, that's just a little taste. We'll be playing a few more clips of songs from Ton Dou, and I just want to bring him on board now. I want to welcome our guest, our very special guest today, to the Clothes-Free Living update. Ton Dou, welcome.
Thank you, Earl. Thanks for having me on.
It's so great to be able to talk with you and just introduce our listeners to you. I discovered you online when I was just beginning my own journey into naturism and clothes-free living. And I'm excited to be able to share you with our listeners and let them learn about who you are. So in case there are folks out there who are listening who don't know who you are, tell us, who is Ton Dou?
Earl, that's very kind of you. I really appreciate those kind words. I'm an average guy. I produce bare body freedom themed songs that obviously some would be accompanied by music videos, and there'll be a couple, at least a couple that will be accompanied with a documentary. And I do this, again, for the encouragement and enlightenment of the practice of simple nudity. These songs, some of them can be heard, can be purchased. The documentaries will be streamed on a web. I'll mention later on. And then, of course, the music videos, you can find some of them, I think, online. And then the future music videos would be streamed as well.
That's great. So, first off, I got to ask, Ton Dou, does that have a special meaning?
Earl, my birth name is Anthony Douglas, and so my nicknames are Tony or Doug, depending on who's talking to me. And so Ton Dou is further abbreviated. Ton is for Tony, and Dou is for Doug.
Great. Okay. Well, that's a question I have gotten answered now. Tell me,